Hello and welcome to the first Leading Broker Series webinar for 2026. I'm Brad Klukas, Head of Strategic Member Engagement, and in this series, I'll be sitting on the couch with brokers who have travelled on all different types of journeys, but are now very successful business owners who have a lot of insights to share. Today, I'm very excited to be in our South Australian studio to chat with Connective's very own broker, Sarah Smelt of the Finance Society, a Glenelg-based brokerage that she launched in 2021. Sarah began her career in banking, but after becoming a mum, she craved more flexibility and made the leap into broking. Fast forward just 4 years, and Finance Society has grown from Sarah working solo with a baby at home to a team of 5 with a thriving brand and a client base. Today, Sarah is not only known for her broking success, but also her fresh approach to social media and her passion for educating the next generation about financial literacy. Sarah brings unique strengths and perspectives to the table, and we're excited to learn from her expertise in today's webinar. With that out of the way, I'd like to welcome Sarah. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolute pleasure. And thanks for having us. This is a beautiful set, beautiful studio.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, let's jump straight in.
Let's go.
Yeah. So you spent years building your career in banking, but then, big life stage and change, starting a family, you made the leap into broking. And so share with us about a bit of that journey and that what led to that change and what was it like not only having a baby, then launching Finance Society back in 2021 with a 4-month at home?
Yeah, look, it was a very busy time. I was a first-time mum, so we had our little girl Bowie in March of 2021, which was also still part of a pandemic time. So it was, a little bit interesting having a COVID baby as such. And I had no intentions of leaving my role. I worked sort of in the private space with Adelaide and Bendigo Bank. And I had our little girl, and I felt like I had worked in the bank since I left school. And it sort of started to feel a little bit like Groundhog Day. I'd reached a lot of my milestones in my career, and I just sort of thought, is this it now? Is this going to be the rest of my life? I craved a little bit more flexibility. I was always a work smarter, not harder, which often doesn't work in, your big four in banking. So I was on unpaid mat leave, like I'd finished my maternity leave, and I just thought, I feel like I have this unique window where I'm not going to get paid anyway because I'm still taking 12 months off. I've used up my paid maternity leave. So I'm either going to be sitting at home with a 4-month-old or I could start something. And I had got my Cert 4 and diploma in finance and mortgage broking back in about 2016, just as something sort of almost to do. Mm-hmm. So I had that there, and I sort of started doing that little bit of research, and I thought, I won't name them here, but a lot of your multinational brands of mortgage brokers are bright blue, bright orange, bold. There was nothing that felt young and modern and even a little bit sort of feminine, aesthetic. Mm-hmm. And all of these little thoughts just came together. And I'm sort of one of those people that I should preempt this by saying, please do not take business advice from me, anybody listening. But I just flew by the seat of my pants. Yeah. I didn't have a business plan. I didn't know how this was going to work. I started the business thinking that if I could write 1 loan a week or 1 loan a fortnight, I think it would match my part-time wage that I would have earned back at
going back to banking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I went in, I thought I could settle 10 mil a year. Great. It'll just be enough to keep us afloat. And I think, everything sort of changed and the business began to grow organically, which was really scary.
Yeah, but exciting at the same time, I imagine.
Yes.
And having Bowie, were there thoughts in your mind of thinking about making that transition before Bowie?
There wasn't, no. But having a little girl and realising that sounds very, very cliche, but I was just not living up to my full potential. I always had this drive that I wanted to do more, to give back. I'd started a few little, I'd say hobby businesses back in my youth. Mm-hmm. And I just had this drive that couldn't sort of be quenched of I wasn't fulfilled. And I think having a daughter really brought that to the forefront because I wanted to do more for her, be more for her, be a good role model. Practice what I preach is a big thing that I'm very, very passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it just everything changed when I had that little girl.
So more so opportunistic than a strategic
Absolutely.
plan. As you said, it stars align. You're like, right, I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And so tell our audience about the first, call it 3 months, 6 months. Was there ever a stage where you said, oh my God, what have I done? Or no, were you just backing yourself?
I was somewhat, I think because again, this is where I say, do not take my advice. I gave myself such low expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought if I can just do, because being in banking, I'm almost 37. I started in the bank at Bank SA on Jetty Road at Glenelg when I was 18.
Yeah.
So I've always been the bank girl. Whenever someone had a question, like growing up in Glenelg, it's a very cliquey area. Everyone knows everyone. I just felt like I was already known for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought if those people just come to me, that will be enough to keep this business afloat. Mitch and I, so my husband, he was very, very supportive, but I blew through our savings, all of it, because I wasn't getting an income.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, even if I'd started writing big numbers on day one, which I didn't, that income.
There's a lag.
It's a lag.
Yeah.
It takes time. And so we had no savings, but resilience and a dream. And here we are coming up in October this year. It'll be our 5th year.
Fantastic. So an exciting story, but a great mindset in terms of people are asking me about finance anyway, and I just need one of them every 2
That's
weeks.
all I need.
And that's all it was.
And I started to realise that the people that I gravitated towards in business, so if I wanted to find a new physio or a new hairdresser, it was social media that I was going to. And so I did start to think, I feel like there's just a little bit of a niche there. And look, I know that at the moment the market is quite saturated with mortgage brokers posting online. But 5 years ago, that wasn't the case. The content out there was very black and white, boring, factual. There was no sort of story behind it.
Yeah.
And so I started to notice that and I thought, I just want to be me. And I want people to come and use me because I'm a normal mum. I don't use jargon. I will either tell you can do it, or if we can't do it, we'll come up with a plan of how we get you there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to be the broker that I would want as a client. So
what a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
What I would want from someone. I mean, you obviously had the circa 20 years of experience in the bank, which no doubt boded you well, but it could have been quite easy for you to just stay there and all of a sudden being a 40-year veteran, right? But you probably would have had the yearning within you to say, what else
what could I have done?
Yeah,
what could I have done? And it has single-handedly been the best decision that I and we as a family have ever made in my life. I would not change it for a second.
Yeah, it's a common theme I hear from bankers that have made the leap of faith, because you're leaving guaranteed salary every fortnight, every month to nothing.
And it's a pretty good, these days, like I was getting paid very, very healthily in the bank. There was a good bonus structure. We had flexibility. Obviously, we still had, your KPIs and things like that, which I do want to touch on when we get a little bit later down the track if we talk about staff.
Yes.
But I sort of took, and given I'd worked for a couple of the majors in that, 15-year career, I sort of wanted to take the best of all the little things that those banks did. Because as we know, not one bank does everything right.
Correct.
But I took those good things from each either leader or bank that I'd worked for and tried to incorporate them into my business.
And you can learn just as much from good leaders as you can bad.
Absolutely.
In terms of how you can be as a business owner. And so let's move into that. At what stage did you get to the point where you said to yourself, I think I need another pair of hands here. I think I need support.
Yeah.
And
so
what was that process like?
Part of starting this business was not, I'm not into the hustle culture. I will not sit here and tell you that I work 50-hour weeks because it would be a lie. I try and work about 25 hours a week, and again, like I said earlier, I work smarter, not harder. So suddenly my business was building, my clientele was growing, and I was working more. And I thought, is this why I started the business? No. Am I being taken away from my family? Yes. What's the point of this then? And that's when I thought, this is going to go one of two ways. I either hire or I've got to scale back. And I'm very determined. And so scaling back, and I'm very competitive. So scaling back didn't feel like the option. And I thought, come this far, what have I got to lose? Why not? And I actually hired from social media. I did not post on Seek. I popped something up on my story and I said, hey, this is me. This is what I'm after. Being a female in the banking industry, having a child, it can be really difficult to go back into your role post-mat leave. They often want you full-time, which I understand from a business sense, but that makes it really hard as a mum.
Definitely.
And so obviously, you know, we can't say I'd love just to have a mum, but in the back of my mind, I knew that I would love to give another mum an opportunity that maybe I didn't get. But I'm thankful that I didn't get, because if I had gotten flexibility, I'd never started the business.
Correct.
So whilst I'm thankful, I really wanted to support a mum.
Yeah. And there are fantastic female mothers out there who, from my perspective, can work part-time and punch out just as much and better quality work as a full-time employee.
Absolutely. We are still, and this is as a solo, I'm still a solo rider hitting, you know, between 40 and 50 mil a year. And that is working 20 to 25 hours a week.
Some people would say that's where they want to get to, but they just can't find
And
it.
I don't want to write 100 mil a year, because if I'm doing that, I'm going to be away from my family. So whilst I would grow the team, absolutely, but me just as myself, and I know it's hard because for someone listening in Sydney or Melbourne, they might think, wow, those numbers are really small. When you look at the average house price in South Australia, those numbers are really good.
Yeah.
Because my average loan size is about 485,000. So you think about writing, you know, 50 mil a year.
With that average ticket size.
It's a bloody lot of peddling.
It's a lot of units.
It's a lot of work to get there. So, I think for South Australia, for me, for our market, I'm happy to sort of hit those numbers.
But I love how you're fiercely defensive of the purpose is this business, which you obviously love and are good at, but the priority is for my family and you know, supporting them and being there and being present for them.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
We have some people that do it and do it well, and then we have some people that would like to do it and not do it well. So they'll be really curious about, you know, the rest of the this webinar.
And this isn't for everyone. Some people love the grind. Yes. They love the hustle. It's not for me. I love people. I love conversations. I love education. But I don't want to work even a 38-hour week. It's not for me.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. And so now share with the audience the size and structure of the team that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started at home in our spare bedroom and then realised that I was outgrowing the space. My daughter was now, by this stage, getting to be one, moving around, banging on the door when I'm on the phone with clients, and I realised I needed to find a space. I am local to Glenelg, as I mentioned, and very passionate about investing back into our local community. And so it made sense. I had to be in Glenelg. My first job was on Jetty Road. Like, I love the place. You know, if people from Adelaide know, I spent my whole youth at the Jetty Bar in the Grand. It's just it's a way of life down there. And so I got my office on Brighton Road in Glenelg, which is a beautiful spot. And I share it with a real estate agency and a strata company. And so I was in there, and that's when I thought I need my team member. So I found Geordie, who is amazing. She's a mum of two beautiful young girls. And she was in banking. She was a branch manager, same sort of thing, had her second and found it really difficult to get back into a branch manager role. They said it's full-time or it's nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm so lucky to have Geordie. Now, she's been with me for 3 years, which I think as a small business is such a huge achievement.
I agree.
My goal, and I said this to her when she started, was I can't afford to pay you what you would have been earning as a branch manager because, you know, they get paid quite well.
Yeah.
But I will get you there. We will do it together. And I'll have to check in with her, but I reckon after, year 3, we are getting pretty close to her earning that sort of same hourly rate, which I'm so proud of. And then we started sort of referring out to other asset brokers. And then I decided that I really wanted to keep everything in-house. So we also then got Casey on board. So she looks after all of our asset. And then we've got my husband as well who...
So Mitch has joined the business?
Yeah, he's a carpenter.
Yes.
But he does sort of some office management, does all of our gift deliveries and things like that. So it's actually, this business has meant that Mitch could step away from work.
Right.
So he now works essentially just in the business.
Fantastic.
Off the
so
tools.
No longer a carpenter anymore.
Always a chippy, Brad.
Always
but
a chippy.
He's no longer employed as a chippy.
Yeah.
He just works for us.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Or looks after, at the moment, he's essentially on maternity leave.
Yep.
So we've had a second child and he's a stay-at-home dad to our 1-year-old Albie.
Great. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Obviously. So you've got Bowie and Albie.
Yes.
Which is great. And I think that's great that he's stay-at-home dad and helping.
He loves it.
Yeah. Oh, I would be the same.
Yeah.
So what about when you hired, I think you said it was Geordie. What was some of the learnings from your first hire?
Look, I hit the jackpot. So I wouldn't change a whole lot about meeting Geordie and hiring Geordie. If you could find me 10 more of Geordies,
employ them all.
I would have them all.
Did you have many applicants?
Yeah, we had about
much interest?
15 applicants, which I think is amazing given I only put it on social media. And I actually ended up with about 4 that I was really like, I can't decide. And one of those, I won't name any names just for privacy, but one of the people that was on my probably top 2 didn't quite get there only because Geordie had banking experience, has now gone and worked for another amazing broker in South Australia. So
that's great. And doing well.
Really well, really well. So, and she wasn't in the industry. She was new to industry, in similar industry. But that just even makes me happy that obviously however our interviews went, didn't turn her away and she didn't go running. She kept pushing and she found a home. So that makes me really happy.
That's great. And so we often hear that principal owners will have a preference to appoint people that who come with banking background, but then you have some that say, no, I'm going to hire based on the intent of the individual or the work behaviours or whatnot, and I can teach everything else. I can teach systems, process and products. Where do you lie with your hiring?
Probably a little bit on the fence. Like, although Geordie had the banking experience, it probably doesn't quite translate into broking. She hadn't had the lending experience. So I still had to show her that side. But for me, our biggest thing is our clients. That we don't do any paid advertising. Everything is essentially social media or word of mouth. So being amazing with clients was my number one priority. Given she had the banking experience, was just like a little icing.
Like an add-on.
A little add-on. But I could tell, and she's honestly, I know that any of my existing clients can attest to, like she's spot on with nothing is too hard. Like she goes above and beyond. I'm very lucky.
And I imagine that staff will do that when they're genuinely engaged, they're happy. I know you mentioned the aim will be to get her to a REM package that's similar to what she was on. However, I would imagine that there'd be so many other positives in her mind that she'd be thrilled with.
And, so she works from home a couple of days a week. She only comes into the office 1 day a week and any time, like I encourage her to be at home. She's got a beautiful elderly dog. And if it's really, really hot here, because, we in Adelaide, we get up to 40 degrees. I'm like, do not come into the office. I'll be mad if you do. You've got to look after Obi because I know that worries her. So I think for her 2 girls have had a couple of, your normal childcare illnesses, school illnesses, and knowing that I don't care. You go, you do whatever you need to do. I trust you. I know that one day you'll make up the hours. There's no checking. I trust her. She's an adult. The best leader I ever had he's actually an ex-Crows player.
Okay.
And he's obviously was very structured given his career and he was now in finance. And the one thing he said to me, he used to say all the time was, I trust you, which felt really foreign working in this industry. I trust you. You do, and you're an adult. I trust you to do. Because I used to feel like I'd need to say, oh, Jamo, I'm on my way home. Like I'll log back in or whatever.
I'll let you know, yeah.
I'll let you know. And he was like, I don't care. Yeah. You do your job. You do it well. That's all I ask.
And that, I imagine, just makes you walk taller, shoulders back.
And so I wanted to do the same with Geordie and know that I trust her, and she does a great job. And I'm actually lucky to have her. It's not the other way around. Like I need her. She's the backbone of this place. So
fantastic.
And I really want her to feel appreciated. And if that's little things like we're going to the Better Business Awards and she's taken the night away from her two girls. It's also her birthday.
Right.
So it's in the city. She lives a little way away. I've booked her a hotel with her husband at EOS for the night because I want her to feel appreciated and to know that I appreciate that leaving your two girls at home when both you and your husband are going out is a big thing. So that should be, rewarded.
It should be special, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I imagine that Geordie's not leaving you anytime soon.
I hope not. I hope not. She's stuck.
Yeah.
She's stuck to me.
It's good. So you mentioned a bit earlier, you touched on social media and obviously in the intro, that's one of the reasons why we have you here. So, one of the things that you stand out embracing the likes of Instagram and TikTok. So why do you think social media has been so powerful for you in attracting clients?
We make lending simple, and that is about as much as there is to it. Now, we attract clients that maybe, they get it, but they mightn't be necessarily super financially savvy. I'll be honest, I'll put my hand up and say we don't get a lot of, your investors that have 15, a property portfolio. They don't tend to find us, and that's fine with me. I stick in my own lane. I know what I'm good at. A lot of, your mum and dad lenders who are either selling their first home, buying an investment, a lot of first home buyers. And I think it's because we put out simple information and we make it clear that maybe it's actually not as far away as you think it is to buy your first home or to buy that investment property. Or someone slid into my DMs today and asked if they could buy a yacht, legitimately, $400,000 yacht. Yeah, we might be able to make that work.
Yeah.
But it's simple. I see a lot on social media at the moment about people are very loud. There's a lot of like swearing and people being like crass and this is what you need to do. This is how you get there. Your bank's lying to you. Don't trust anyone. We just have really tried to avoid that.
Yeah.
Again, it's that whole hustle culture. I'm me. I'm a bit of a bogan. I'm a bit of a bogan online. The Sarah that you meet on Instagram is the Sarah that will be doing school drop and you'll see
absolutely
it Woolies.
no difference.
No
in
different.
The individual that you meet or see.
Absolutely. I'm just me and I'll tell you how it is. And I think for us that's been really important. It's just that authenticity. I can be like a little bit crass, like if I'll swear or whatnot on my own socials, not often, but because I swear in real life. Yeah. So it just happens, like it pops out. I don't mean to. So I just think it's really important for us personally to just be authentic. I couldn't sit here and try and say, Brad, you need to build a property portfolio, but because it wouldn't roll off the tongue.
And customers or potential clients would see that.
Yeah.
So it's probably the authenticity that they see and the fact that it's the same Sarah here as it is here. And that makes me feel more confident.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example. This one makes me laugh. So I had clients that reached out and they had seen a broker. They'd seen another broker and a few things had happened, but they said for them, they were young. The straw that broke the camel's back was they called his wife the wrong name in an email. So me being me replied and said, thanks. And I called them both the wrong name, but very close. And then I just wrote in brackets, like, I'm sorry, it was just such an easy one. Like you opened it up and they loved it because that is my personality. I had to have that little bit of, because they laughed about it, but that's just me. And I want to be able to have that relationship. And do you know what? If they had turned around and thought that was really rude, well, do you know what? We're probably not a good fit.
Yeah.
So they had a laugh, we had a laugh, now they're my clients. So that works. Like my whole personality is banter. So yeah.
Well, it can help build relationships. It can anything finance can be heightened in terms of stressful
Yeah.
times for, we do it every day, but for someone buying their very first home or their first investment property or a $400,000 yacht, there's still
He doesn't have his boat license. I just want to add that in.
We do that after. Let's not get into semantics, right? So, but I think the way that people see that, and obviously you mentioned at the start, you just make it easy. You're real. You're you.
Because it is easy.
It can be.
It can be easy.
Yeah.
Yep. We don't deal with, your corporate complex trusts, things like that, because I, again, work smarter, not harder. I feel like if I do a deal like that that's going to take me a week, I could have done 5 first home buyers that I can do one a day.
Yeah.
That's just how I work. The complex stuff doesn't drive me. Ringing a client and telling them that their loan got approved is like my favourite thing in the world. And if a bank goes in and cuts in,
watch out.
You'll hear about it.
I imagine that
They cut my lunch.
that call, you can hear it in their voice, or you can hear the relief or the excitement.
It's the best.
Which gives you everything, right?
Everything.
So for you're focused on education with your social media post, financial literacy.
Correct.
Just explaining to people, can you give us an example of what that might look like?
So one of the posts that we do a lot, and it actually does really well, will pop up. I'll go on real estate and find a house in Adelaide that might be 700,000. We will green screen it. So you'll see the house behind me. I'll talk to the house and I'll say, you can buy this as a first home buyer. You can buy this house with this deposit. These are your fees. This is what it's going to cost you. Easy. Because that's what people want to know. They want to know, okay, if I want to buy that house, how much money do I need? I'm too embarrassed to ring you and ask you because I feel that's a bit of a, what are they, Gen X? Whatever the newest one is, they don't want to ask.
Yeah.
They just want to know the answer. Or we tell them that you don't have to be embarrassed that you've got Afterpay. You don't have to, you don't have to hide that you've might have gone and used Sportsbet, like those sort of things that give people some ease. But yeah, a lot of times it is just saying, you can get this with this. If you don't have this, this is how we can get you there.
It's a really smart way that you're thinking about your client base, whether it's the primary focus or not. But I'm going to give you the answer to a question that you may or may not ask or may not be confident in asking. So I'm just going to give you the answer, or at least start the conversation.
Or you've asked your dad or your uncle or your uncle's neighbour and they've said you need 20% deposit, but you've believed that because that's what you do in Australia. We take people's word.
Yeah.
And you think that you need 200 grand when actually you need 35. And suddenly you can buy a house this year rather than the 5-year plan that you had. So we do find that happens a little bit, that people think like, yes, I can say this because we're in a broker forum, but it is tough out there at the moment for first home buyers, but there are some great schemes. So you can get into a home as a first home buyer with not a lot of deposit.
Fantastic. And totally different conversation. So don't listen to your uncle at the barbecue. Give Sarah a call.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yep.
What advice, so I've spoken to some brokers and in terms of social media and the cadence and consistency, they're really nervous about putting themselves out there. And what am I even going to talk about? So I'm really great at, writing loans, but this is an avenue I should follow. So what would be some advice you would give brokers who want to start but perhaps are too nervous or just don't know where to start?
Yep. So one piece of advice I would have, and I've had a few brokers reach out where they want to spend $10,000 on a website and hire a social media manager that they pay $3,000 a month for their content. And then they wonder why they don't get any business from it. We started with a $400 website and I did all of our social media for the first 12 months. And after that, yes, we do sort of outsource to a company, but it is all still me. I still do all the filming, or they come out and film me. But I think it's that whole walk before you crawl. Nobody's comfortable in front of a camera. No, I do not wake up in the morning and go, oh, I can't wait. Can't wait to film this.
Not even today.
Oh yeah, because I've seen you, Brad. But it's uncomfortable. I'm a one-take wonder. So I do it once, unless I really, really stuff it up, because I feel like you get caught up in your own head. If you just keep filming it and then you've got 5 and you don't know which one's the best one, we film once. If there's a little mistake in it, no one cares.
Again, real authenticity. Yeah. This is me.
It's me.
Yeah.
And so we don't, I go on with no makeup, in my pajamas. If you ever see a video of me and I've got like a blanket pulled up, it is not because I'm cold. It is because I'm in a nightie.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just understanding that no one is comfortable doing it. Yes, it is. Acknowledge it. It is uncomfortable. But we get 60% of all of our business from socials.
Yep.
It is bloody worth it, and it's free.
How often would you be posting? Are you once or twice a week?
No, so we post 4 to 5 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a range of different content. So it's not always video. It might be video, reels, education, carousels. That's like, your pictures that you flick through. Some of it isn't work related. Sometimes it'll be about, like we were a sponsor at a charity day on Friday. So all of the content on Friday was about the charity. So we kind of mix it up. And Jem, who manages my social media, she lets me, as she says, like go rogue sometimes where like I'll be allowed to just make something. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we don't have a big plan. There's no 12-month, this is what we're going to do. Sometimes something big will happen. There'll be a big change. So we've got to focus on, when rates go up or down or whatnot. So it's being flexible, but also knowing that it's not comfortable. Mm-hmm. And the more you do it, the better you feel.
It gets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But in saying that, the audience also doesn't know what you're going to say. So, just start is what I'm hearing. Just put yourself out there.
Yeah. Make sure the advice, I feel like I'm the social media police. Just make sure the information you're providing is correct.
It's accurate.
Otherwise, you'll have me sliding into your DMs. But that's a story for another day.
Just letting you know.
Yeah. I'll be watching.
Yes. One of the things, and I love this about you, so beyond your brokerage, you spend a lot of time teaching financial literacy to young people in schools. Why is this a priority for you?
Because we didn't get it. So the only financial literacy I received as a child was from my mum and dad, who, do not get me wrong, I love them, but they're in their 70s. They've never, ever had a credit card. Mm-hmm. They paid their home off in full by the time they were like 40. It's a different world. They've never bought an investment property. They do not, like when I tell them what things cost, my dad almost has a coronary that I would spend $200 on a dress or something. It's just out of this world. So I never got any education in school. I went to a private school. There was nothing about.
There's nothing in the curriculum really about it, or back then.
No. I've got to say, I'm not sure. I haven't recently looked at the Australian curriculum, but it's. I don't teach them about a home loan because no 15-year-old kid gives a shit about a home loan.
Correct.
It's about what a tax file number is, why it's important, signs to watch out for, financial coercion, why it's important to, have savings, just things like that, real basic stuff, because I think it's really, really important. Because a lot of the time all we hear about is you're a kid and you get pocket money and then you can go blow it. But what's the bigger picture here? Because sadly, the youth of today will probably need to be saving when they're 18 for their first home, whereas we probably didn't have to worry about it as much, whereas it's different times now.
Yeah, totally. And what's the response like for, the kids after they hear from you?
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. It's really positive. And, I'm sure some are bored shitless, but the majority I think really enjoy it. And we make it like, I'm obviously quite normal. We make it normal and fun and relatable and talk about, things that they understand and what's important to them. And it's really positive. And clearly we keep getting invited back. So
must be doing something.
We're doing something right. Yeah.
And the feedback is obviously great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you're a mum, you've got a growing, successful brokerage. And success in that is when you say, I write X amount, but I work 20 to 25. That's success.
That's my success.
In many people's eyes. You've just launched a podcast. How do you juggle it all? What's the balance look like for you?
The biggest game changer for us was Mitch taking the step back. We really wanted a second child and realised that it probably wasn't a great time for me to step away from the business. I absolutely love my children more than anything else in the world, but I'm not your super maternal. I never have been. Even with Bowie when I had my, maternity leave. Mitch is very maternal. He's the cuddly one. I'm the one that's like, come on, up you get. He's the cuddler. So it actually almost made sense without us realising
Perfect.
that he should stay home. So I had about 6 weeks off after the birth, and then I just got straight back into it. And even the comments like, people wouldn't say that's great. They'd say, oh, you poor thing. And I was like, oh, no, this was by choice. I'm lucky.
Choice. Yeah.
Like I feel worse for Mitch. Like he's at home with a beautiful newborn. Like I get to, get away each day. So I'm the lucky one. So yeah, that was interesting. That's a whole nother conversation starter. But
it's worked out perfectly for you.
Honestly, so good. He's the best. And I feel like we've been so blessed. He gets to have the time with the kids. I still do as well, obviously, because of my work-life balance. But yeah, we get the best of both worlds. So
it sounds like you've got the business at a level where you're really happy. It's working for you. In saying that, it doesn't mean that you're thinking about what's next. So for Finance Society, what does the next 12 or 24 months look like for you?
I obviously always want to grow. I would love to get another broker or another broker or two on board so that I'm not the main writer. And for us, it's all about the team, the fit. So we're in no rush. We bought a caravan, so I'd like to go away more in the caravan.
Good.
So that's probably leads into the hiring more staff. But it's just keep doing what we're doing. The biggest things for me are almost not the numbers, it's the little bits of recognition, like even Connective reaching out. The fact that someone in Connective thought of me, little old Sarah in Adelaide, to do this, like that's all I need. Like people just can do that, and that fills my cup. My big goal for the year is we want to partner with a charity. We're sort of we've got a couple in the works, so that's sort of our goal for 2026. Probably something in the women's space that we can work directly with and, give a portion of our profits to them.
And we're quite fortunate in Australia and, in finance and broking. So I love that about you. We're looking to go, who can we help?
Yeah.
It's...
it's surreal. To think that 5 years ago I was, essentially an unemployed mum kind of. I had a job, but I wasn't going back to it, to the fact that, we're here today having this conversation is mind-blowing. So I'm very thankful to Connective as well.
That's right. We're thankful to have you as a member of ours. So, Sarah, one last question before we get to some Q&A. So what is one piece of advice that you would give, a principal owner that is thinking about, I think I'm going to take the next step and grow, my business in terms of either staff and or volume?
Again, I don't have that business switch in my brain. I think you've just got to do it. I fly by the seat of my pants. If it feels right and it's a good gut feel and it makes sense, that's how I make my decisions in life. And so far, so good. I haven't made too many poor ones. But you've got to trust yourself. And I think if you trust yourself and you trust your judgment and you've got a good team around you, like an accountant, financial planner, and you've got people you know, like and trust, then you've just got to trust those gut feelings that you've got.
Fantastic. So for you, how do you come up with the different ways in which you put social media posts on? Just the content. Are you sitting there for an hour or two a day thinking, right, what am I doing in 3 weeks' time?
No. Again, I do now have a full-time social media manager who manages all of our content. So we tend to catch up once a fortnight. We'll smash out some videos. Even in saying that, one little trick that we do is I'll catch up with her and I'll be wearing this. In the same day, I'll just bring a different top, change my top so that when you look at our content, you think, that wasn't all filmed.
Different day.
Yep. Yeah. Otherwise, it would just look like 6 videos in a row where I'm wearing this. And I don't like that because it looks very fabricated, even though that is what we're doing. So, we do a quick switch, and it is as horrible and cringe as this is going to come out my mouth. It is keeping on top of the trends. Trending audio, I can't even say it. There are certain things that come out and sadly we do have to jump on board the trends because it's what builds your visibility.
Right. Yeah. So is this the new language that a lot of the younger potential clients are speaking?
A little bit, but it's just like something will go, a certain song or a certain thing someone's done will go viral. And then You've got
to jump on it quick.
Yeah,
But
sadly.
that's, as you said, many of first home buyers
Yeah.
that are probably your younger customers, they're scrolling, they're looking at these things, and if it's catchy.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you haven't done a Bad Bunny impersonation from the Super Bowl yet?
Not yet. It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
Watch this space.
Watch this space. Love it. So you mentioned the bulk of your referrals are coming from social. Where are the other referrals coming from? More traditional means?
So we don't have any paid referrals. So we have really no referral partners. We have no paid referrals, and I've never had a paid referrer. I am of the opinion that if you like me, you can refer to me and I will look after your customer more than anyone else I personally think will, but I'm not going to pay for it. I'm just going to do a bloody good job. And that's worked for most of all of the people that refer directly to me. And it's actually been word of mouth. And social media does tie in there a bit because a lot of it will be you found me on Instagram, but then you told your mum and then your mum told her neighbour and her neighbour rings me and says blah, blah, blah. And the amount of people that come up to me and say, oh, you know, X, Y, and Z. And I've got to go, yeah, no idea who they're talking about. But it's because of that grapevine that people find you. So a lot of it is repeat clients, like in sort of internal people reaching out to their connections and social media.
Great. Which ties in nicely to the next question around what happens when someone perhaps comes to you, if they have, and says, Sarah, I'm happy to refer to you, but how much am I going to get? How do you have that conversation if you've had in the past?
Yeah, so I have. And I just say, look, it's not something that we take on board at Finance Society. So if you're looking for a paid referrer, you're probably better off to look elsewhere. And I'm so comfortable to say that. We work with people that want to work with us. I will not ever let client, I don't care your net worth, I don't care who you are, like you cannot speak poorly to the team. And I have had to, contact a client and say, we don't want your business because he was really, really rude to one of the staff. And I thought, no.
I think that's absolutely what should happen.
Yeah. And so that's really important to me. And I'm not gonna drop my $350,000 first home buyer for the $1 million purchase. Like you are all equal. Some of the clients that I've had the smallest loans for are my biggest referrers. So everyone gets an even playing field. It doesn't matter who you are, you will get treated exactly the same from us. So I probably just went off town.
No. It was perfect because, we even in certain businesses you work in, there might be senior roles, but there's no senior people.
No, you all go home and you all go home to your family or if your pets. Like at home, you're just Brad, the dad and the husband, and that's it. Like, that whole world blows my mind.
Yeah, and just be kind.
Yeah, just be nice.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, just be nice.
Fantastic. Oh, well, thank you so much for that, Sarah. I absolutely love chatting with you. I love everything about the business. What you're doing to give back is lovely, and I love the fact you prioritise time with Mitch and your two kids as well.
Thank you.
But it sounds like you treat people exceptionally well in your business, and I have no doubt they'd be extremely happy and proud to say they work with you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. No doubt the socials and the followers is going to climb as a result of this with many of our Connective members and some of the staff, me being one of them.
Yes.
So thank you so much for your time. Wish you every success for 2026.
And thank you to Connective for the opportunity.
Oh, that's all right. We're always happy. Thanks so much, and best of luck to all of you out there. And again, please send your feedback through to us, and we wish you every success for 2026 and beyond.